George Kilpatrick Inspiration for the Nation, celebrating people we feel good about. Well, we got a treat, Syracuse and Central New York. The Music Forever, TMF, is in the house. And we've got a special treat because we have some original members of the band. Frankie Beverly, as you know, retired after 55 years in the business, but the music continues with the Music Forever. And they are the band that has been with Frankie Beverly for so many years. By the way, my sister was at the Frankie Beverly and Mays concert in Philadelphia, one of the last, if not the last concerts that Frankie Beverly did. And so what an exciting time. But we have some of the members of TMF in the house. They are consist of a solo artist with 7 Grammys, 2 ASCAPs, Chris Walker as the lead vocals, and 6 former members of this iconic band, Maze, featuring Frankie Beverly. All right, so who's in the house tonight? First of all, we got Rome. Yo, an original member, 55 years with Frankie Beverly. Wow.
Right.
I mean, come on now. That's you know, that's to be celebrated for real, right?
Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah.
The only 2 original members of the band, and we're excited to have you, Rome. I can't wait to hear more about the stories that you have. We also have Chris Walker, lead vocals, originally from Houston, Texas, and is the lead vocalist of the TMF. We got Bear Williams from the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, on bass guitar and vocals.
All right.
We're trying to get everybody in here recognized. We also have Daniel Weatherspoon. Daniel is on the keys and the organ, and he's originally from Chicago, Illinois.
Absolutely.
So I got Rome, I got Bear, I got Daniel, and then I got Chris. I ain't missing nobody, am I?
No, that's it.
Well, first of all, thank you, gentlemen. So, by the way, why are we talking to TMF? Because TMF is going to be at the Great New York State Fair Saturday, August 31st, as part of the JAMS, that's Join Artists, Music, and Singers. They're putting on their annual event. It's a funk fest, and if we're going to do a funk fest, then we might as well have TMF in the house. And so, Rome, let me begin with you. What was it like to be with Frankie for 55 years, and what was it like to be at the last show?
It's been an amazing journey, pardon the pun. 55 years. We started off in Philly. I met him in 69, and they were then the Butlers, and from then transitioned into the Raw Soul Group. We changed the name from there, going into Maze, which we signed with Capitol Records in 76. And it's just been incredible. I mean, we've played pretty much everywhere. I think the last time we were there was probably around Budfest, Cool Jazz, around that time. And that's 80s, I think.
Mm.
But yeah, it's been a great time with the bands, the different bands that came in and out. Still a great brotherhood. I have nothing but love and respect for Frank. I'm glad he's finally settling in and settling down, and I can't wait to see him. I'm going to see him very soon, in fact. But it's been a great journey for me. Absolutely.
Would you say, Rome, that it's been 55 years of joy and pain?
Oh yeah. I mean,
y'all supposed to laugh at that, okay?
I'm laughing hysterically on the inside.
Come on, y'all treated me like the vice president the other day. y'all treated me like Vaz. Why y'all do that to me? Like,
I was getting ready to get
was it too corny that you couldn't get it? Okay, I got y'all. I mean, before I let go, I'm gonna just no. Go ahead. All right. I know.
Whoa, whoa! Oh, sorry. You just okay. I got you. Okay, I see. Okay.
I was getting ready to get serious because there were some joys and pains.
Sure.
Our journey, of course, with most groups that have been together as long as we have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time was some amazing and great times. Meeting some fabulous people in our journey. Played with just about everybody you can think of. So yeah, it's been rewarding. Wouldn't trade it for anything.
And anybody, by the way, this is a free flowing conversation. As I think about it, what you can say about Maze is that every generation, I don't care if you're 92 or 22, every generation, if any one of Frankie Beverly and Maze or Maze's songs comes on, the dance floor, the people are heading out from every generation. To what do you attribute that? Anybody can take that. Let me give that to you, Chris.
Well, no, actually, I'll give it to Bear since he's been, part of that DNA for 20 plus years.
Go ahead, Bear.
It for some reason, the music that Frankie did, it just, along with the band, it just resonates. It just resonates with the spirit. It resonates with the heart. And it's just something that's very relatable to people. And I think that's why, they hit the dance floor every time they hear it. It's just something it's great. It's great for them. So.
Well, and to piggyback off of what Bear was saying, you're really talking about Before I Let Go.
Yeah.
I mean, if of all the Maze songs, this is the most danceable song about a breakup.
All right, Chris, give it. All right, Chris, give it to me. Give it to me.
Whoa!
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
All right. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Maze anthem, and everywhere you go, clubs, barbecues, picnics, you put that on, and everybody's up and singing every lyric.
So, was it blasphemous or an honor when Beyonce said, "I'm gonna take that and redo it"?
It was an honor.
An honor, absolutely.
I'm sure it was an honor.
I heard that.
When she was a teenager, and she's from Houston, and we used to play the rodeo every year, and she said her first concert was a Maze concert. So she's been a big fan.
She has been a big fan. And Bear, again, 20 years. What's new in the style of performing with TMF? What do you as compared to Maze? How are we gonna flip that? How is it gonna be the same? I mean, so when you come to Syracuse, you're gonna play all those hits from Maze, and I'm sure we'll hear maybe some things that you're putting out because you've got your own music now. But we're gonna look for all those hits. So what's new? What are we looking forward to?
You're looking forward to Chris Walker, being in the front, and the rest of us are just bringing over. It's like another interview we did. We're just bringing over the DNA that was set forth in Maze and bringing it over into TMF. So a lot of the things that you've heard over the last decades, the spirit, the power, the musicianship, you're going to have all of that. So it's really just enhanced with the fact that we have our own voice and have done our own music. But yeah, you're going to get all of that, and more. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a great show. So
Chris, are you the baby of the bunch? Is that why
I'm the newbie. But let me tell you, what was I've been a fan for so many years, man. So when I got the call to join my brothers, let me tell you, I'm like a kid in a candy store.
So what happened? How did that call come about?
Well, I posted during the pandemic. I posted a couple of Maze songs, and one being I think it was We Are One. And Rome's lady saw it, and it reached over 1 million people. And she showed it to Rome, and Rome in turn sent it to the Cats, and they were like, "Yeah, we know that guy. That's Chris Walker." Because being musicians, we like Bear. I've known Bear for years. So Bear calls me up and he says, "Hey, I'd like to invite you on a Zoom call with the Mays team or the guys, and but he wouldn't tell me why. So in my mind, I'm thinking, what did he want me to do? Sub on bass with May? I don't know. So anyway, so I get on a Zoom call and they basically shared with me that they were starting TMF, and they would like for me to consider being the lead singer. And they said, we're vetting about 3-4 of the guys. And I started laughing. True story. I started laughing. I said, "Look, search is over, fellas. You can forget those other guys." Because I've been a fan for so long, man. It's like when I got that call, it was like a blessing that just came from God, man.
And we're glad to have him.
Oh yeah.
So I want to hear from the other guys who Bear and Rome. When you heard him, did you think the search was over?
Yes, absolutely. When I heard, when my lady showed me the video, I said, absolutely. We don't need to look any further, because we had some other people in mind, but I shot it to them immediately. I mean, he just knocked me out. It was incredible. If you get a chance, check it out. He did a great job. I mean, great rendition.
And the only issue I have is with one of the guys that's on this Zoom, actually, and that's Daniel, because he made me shine shoes when I first came into the band. I was cutting their hair.
Hey, Daniel.
I'm doing laundry for everybody. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo,
Daniel,
fellas.
Did you haze him, Daniel? Did you haze him, Daniel?
He was hazing me, man.
Did you put him online?
Man, listen. You gotta learn Chris. Chris is jokester all day long. You gotta understand him. He's lying about every inch of that conversation. So I didn't haze him. He came in, and I've learned. I'm actually he's the baby of, I guess, want to say TMF. We hadn't only been in existence a few months anyway, but
right.
I'm the youngest to actually come into the whole circle of Mays in that circle. And if there's one thing I've learned, and I think was the selling point with Chris, was if it's one thing I've learned about being around like Bear and Rome and Vance and the guys, is music is one thing, but if there's no personality chemistry, it just don't work.
Absolutely.
And it was just an instant marriage with Chris. It was just an instant. It feels like we've known each other as a team for 20 or 30 years.
Yes.
It just feels unforced. It's a complete brotherhood. We laugh, we hang, we text. I mean, we literally talk to each other all day long on text.
It was a perfect fit.
It was a perfect. It's hilarious. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you, my brothers.
And I'm interested, and Daniel, thank you for that. Back to you, Chris. So how do you, obviously big shoes to fill, but it's not Mays, but it's the music forever. It's your own thing, but then you're singing some of the songs from Mays. So how do you maintain Chris and also honor and expand the legacy of the great Frankie Beverly?
Well, I had the pleasure of, working with Regina Bell as her music director for many years. And one of her first tours was opening for Mays featuring Frankie Beverly for almost a year. So I had an opportunity to watch the show every single night. And Frankie was always very, very gracious to me, and he would come up to me and he would say, "Young man, you have a great voice. Keep doing what you're doing. One day you're going to make it," So basically all I can do is honor the music and bring what Chris does to it, but keep the integrity of what the foundation that has been laid. So I'm not gonna go off and do a bunch of riffs and do. I'm gonna stay true to the melody, because that's what people come to know and expect. But at the same time, I bring a little personality to it. That's Chris. So I try to make it fun and just make it inviting for the audience, because these guys, with them, they're killing it. And the thing about it is they have nothing to prove. They've already done it. So, I'm like the target. It's like target practice. People are sitting there aiming at me. Bam, you ain't Frankie, you ain't. But I just have to silence that and just do the best job that I can do. And I know my brothers have my back, and I feel confident.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And so, and of course, people have begun to be drawn to TMF? I understand that last you had a concert in ATL. What happened there?
I'll let Chris take that because he got beat up that show. That was actually the first time taking the stage
That's right.
as a team. And I don't know. Well, we're past it now. I couldn't have said it before, but our first rehearsal was the sound check. Like our first time really getting prepped outside of meeting in Chicago to do some footage. But that was really our first time taking the stage. And they sat there, the audience kind of beat Chris up a little bit and yada, yada, yada. But I've come to learn that Chris is not scared of people. He checked them and he put them in place. And after about 20 minutes, you kind of see everybody kind of getting one, and sooner or later,
So did they treat you like the Apollo on amateur night for a minute, Chris?
Yeah, they did. I mean, because you have to remember they were in their feelings.
Yes, they've
seen these guys, and with Frankie. So who is this guy coming out here?
Right.
So they were. Oh, go ahead, Bear. Go ahead, Bear.
I will say this one thing about the ATL audience. They didn't treat us like the Apollo because they were respectful.
Okay.
Yeah.
They sat in their seats, they sat on their hands, but they didn't know there was no booing, there was none of that.
Okay.
They were just, who is this dude?
Yeah, and before long, we got him.
Yeah.
Certainly
it turned into a party.
We got a standing ovation at the end.
Yeah.
How about that?
They were up dancing. Yeah.
It's often, is this rare, or is this something that happens when you have a band and the lead singer retires, but then the band continues? Is this something that we've seen before, or I should say, how many times have we seen this before, or is this pretty unique, or is this pretty standard that the band continues under a different format and then starts to create its own music and sound? Because that's also something that you also are trying to do. Even if you began in one identity, you're continuing on carving out a new identity. So is this, so I guess there's two questions. Is it unique for a band to continue and keep a legacy going? And how do you create new music that's distinct from the identity that you had prior? So maybe that's three questions. However you want to answer that. I'll start with you, Rome and Bear, since y'all the senior members of the group.
Well, I think with a lot of the groups that have changed band members or lead singers like Lionel Richie, most of the bands stay true to their music and those hits. Right. I mean, hits will keep you going as long as you can perform.
Right.
But in our case, it is rare that you find groups like that have that longevity and go from those hits to something entirely different. And we cross those lines. And I mean, with these guys and the body of work, I mean, we're just great musicians. And we add all of that, combine it and marriage it into the music that we're playing now. But yeah, I mean, I can't remember or think of a lot of bands. I'm sure there are some bands that have done that. But in our case, yeah, it's what we've always wanted to do, is continue to play Maze music. But along with that, everyone writes. So we're going to be creative in that. Yeah.
And Ben, and Daniel also kick in, and Chris as well. What is the new sound? Is it strictly R&B? What are we looking for?
Daniel, you can answer that one.
It's grown fun to me.
Okay.
It's
grown and sexy. I'm gonna add the sexy part.
Yeah, it's sexy. It's fun, but it's adult soul, but it's really like we've been intentional about reminding people what live instrumentation feels like, what live chemistry feels like. I mean, every instrument is raw. There's no overly programmed stuff. There's, I mean, the entire record is just, it's just feel good, which is in itself is a duplication or representation of what Maze did. I mean, the music was just, it was real. It had heart, even from the days of Earth, Wind, and Fire and all of that other stuff. It was just raw, real music. And we've all contributed. You have just a band of brothers here that all have a different skill set. We all have a different sound. And we've just found a way to put all of that into one pot and just bring forth some stuff that just feels modern and current, but just still reminds you of how good music used to be 30, 40 years ago, because we're missing that a lot these days.
Absolutely.
All right, so is that Bear?
No, and I was just gonna say, and we're missing three other members on this Zoom call: Vance Taylor, Jubu, and Calvin Napper. But yeah, man, have you heard the new record?
I have.
By chance?
Yes.
Oh, you have. Oh,
yeah,
okay,
and I was just going to say the new album, The Music Forever Volume 1, is 9 original songs, and it's out now, so people can check it out on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, and also the TMF website, tmfconcerts.com is where you can get the album. And I'm excited for this new sound and what you gentlemen are looking to bring to the audience here.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a fun night. I'm telling you, people don't want to miss it. I'm telling you. And you see that guy right there, Rome? He has some moves that's gonna blow your mind. I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag, Rome. But I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag. But he has some moves that's gonna blow your mind. I'm just telling you right now.
I mean, and that's the one thing about the direction, right, for the music and how what people have to look forward to. Which this is, and that's the fun part about this day, because again, so many we'll have a whole day full of artists, but then we get to enjoy you all in the closeout with new music, some old music. What's the ratio going to be, by the way? People want to know that. Like, how much of the new are you going to sprinkle it in? What's the set look like?
Well, we don't want to give it. Go ahead, Ron.
I think we're going to always continue to do play the Maze music, and at some point in time, we're certainly going to add the TMF stuff. And at some point in time, we're going to always continue to do the Guns, the Maze classics. But we're going to probably have more of a TMF set in the near future, but we'll always continue that legacy. Absolutely.
Love it. I have a question about bands, because you all don't live in the same city. So how does that work in terms of a band who you all live in your respective cities doing whatever you do, but then you come together for a tour such as this? Help me out with the logistics of that for those of you who've been doing it for a minute.
See, you want to take it?
Okay, sure. Well, basically, I mean, it doesn't really matter where you live, because, you just catch a flight to the city where we need to end up, and we make it happen, and everybody goes back to their home city, or we go on from there to another city. But yeah, it doesn't really matter where you live. We come together and we make it happen. So we just fly into the city, like we're going to meet up there, and we're going to do the show, and then of course we have other shows after that. So we'll just continue on to the next shows.
Indeed.
Really excited about that. The next chapter, right? And the legacy of the great, the legends of our time. Are you comfortable with where adult R&B is today, and the new way that people get their music? Rome, Bear, Chris, Daniel, and how it's, we're in a different space, the way people, categorically, right? How people are going to come to the music.
Yeah, it's hard for me because I come from the 60s and 70s culture.
Yeah.
and I'm still very much into jazz. So what I hear now, I mean, I can respect some of the artists, especially the name artists, the ones that are doing something and have the longevity. But it's like a microwave culture. They want it quick right away and just want results. And it doesn't happen like that. It didn't happen like that in my day. But now you can get it so quickly. I mean, you're now considered a musician and you can't play an instrument. You just know how to, you're computer savvy.
Mm-hmm.
Different culture, but I can respect what some of the artists are doing. I don't listen to it a lot, the radio. The only time I really listen to it is if I'm in a car. But other than that, I go back to old school artists.
Daniel, you want to take that?
I can take it. I think I mean, we don't have a whole lot of bands these days in our age bracket revisiting this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the audience is there, and we tend, because of the way the marketplace is and the way the machines are, we tend to think that the audience, we dumb them down.
Mm-hmm.
Or we tend to think that they aren't as musical as they really are, or that they don't really appreciate the way these things sound. I mean, if you love music, you just love music, regardless of what the market tells you is supposed to be music, or regardless of what radio or, so if they want to find it, it's here to be found. I mean, the outlets, like Roman said, is people can get to it faster than they used to. It used to be a time where you literally had to get in your car, drive to a record shop, or drive to the music store at the mall, pick up some CDs, and it was a thing for me where you could just spend hours just piling through records and piling through vinyls and yada, yada, yada. But, you can get it on your phone now. And I think we're actually reinventing a way, not reinventing, but just reestablishing that this thing still exists, that real good music with instrumentation, it still exists. And I'm hoping it sparks a whole new thing, because we miss it and we enjoy it.
Well, we enjoyed you. TMF, The Music Forever, tmfconcerts.com. Find their music on Spotify, Apple Music. Get their new album. They've got 9 new tracks.
Yeah.
Something on there for everybody.
Something on there for everybody, and let's do it. This is an exciting time for music. TMF, The Music Forever. Rome, we thank you, Rome, for being here. Bear Williams, Chris Walker. Let me go Daniel. And then now, Chris, can you give it to me one more time?
Whoa, whoa. Let me give you the first line of the song. You make me happy. There you go. I'll give you
Thank you.
There you go.
And with that, we say we are one. The Music Forever. George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation.
Thanks for having
us. First,
thank you, man.
At the Great New York State Fair, get your tickets. This concert is free because you get this with your New York State Fair admission at the Chevy Court. I forgot to say it's at the Chevy Court. The day starts at 12. They're going to come on about 6 as your closeout, about 6, and it's going to be a fun time. TMF, The Music Forever.
Yeah.
Of course, with the music of Maze. George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation, August 31st. Be there at the Great New York State Fair, Chevy Court, for the JAMS concert featuring TMF, The Music Forever, Inspiration for the Nation.